Thank you all for having me. I really appreciate this opportunity to talk to you all. For me, character has been something that's really shaped my life. And it's gone to the point where I wanted to share that with everybody else. So on my journey, I've tried to bring that to others. So I recently started a social media page called Matt the Character Coach, really to bring that to others. So today I'm here to talk to you guys a little bit about the origin story of character, and then of my personal story as well. Just wanted to start with something kind of a little fun. To find a man's true character, play golf with him. If you guys are as good as golf as me, it's a bit of a challenge at times. So, I got those great attention. You're gonna, just crush it off the tee and get that big slice, that big hook, and can never seem to get it figured out. So, it's a challenge at times. But as we talk about character, it truly is, what character building is. It's about the challenges. So I encourage you to find those opportunities, those challenges. I want to talk about what actually is character. So a lot of people talk about character, and usually, you're talking about, an athlete. Oh, this person really represents great character, or this kid, or this leader. But what is your definition of character? And it's going to be a little bit different for everybody. But I came up with a couple that I found online. I will tell you guys, I'm not by any means an expert. I could be, sitting in the stands with you guys. You can be up here. You probably know almost as much as I do. The only difference is I've really made it a passion and an interest to learn it. So with whatever you end up doing today, I encourage you to find your passion. So I'm just going to talk briefly about what is character. Character is the way that someone thinks, feels, behaves, or someone's personality. So lots of times we're talking about one person individually, and how does that person, how they feel and how they behave. We talk about the quality of being determined to deal with difficult situations. Just talked about golf, those challenges. When we talk about someone that, hey, this is a man or a woman of character, you're looking at how are they dealing in those hard times. When you win the championship, oh yeah, hunky-dory, everyone can, say thank you and wave and all of that after you win the championship. But when you lose the game, when you go through that rough time, that's when you really determine, your character. It's the mental and the moral qualities that are distinctive to an individual. So when we put all of these together, we really learn a lot about ourselves and about those around us. I encourage you just to pause for a second, reflect on yourself. What is your character? What does it look like? How are you as an individual? Now, I wouldn't be telling the origin story if we didn't talk a little bit about character. And our last speaker, touched briefly on some of this as well. When did character development really start? Now, I'm not going to go all the way back to Bible times, because that's when you look at the Bible and there's a lot of character in there. But when we look at our country and at the U.S., in the 1600s, 1700s, 1800s, it was really about memorizing. A lot of you probably have seen the old videos of the schoolmaster and the one-room schoolroom sitting up there and kids just reciting facts, reciting the rules. And that was how kids used to learn characters. It was all rule-based. John Dewey and many others expanded that to really critical thinking and more than just about, the rules and why you were supposed to do that. Really thinking about, okay, if I'm in this situation, why is character important and why should I be developing that? And then more recently, it's shifted to the focus of the whole child. We look at character, and it's more important than just the rules and the memorizations. We look at why a child is feeling that way, why us as individuals are feeling that way. And more importantly, it's bigger than just us. And that's really the truth to character. For me, when I look at my own character story, I can date back to when I was 5 years old. I always say privileged, to grow up on a dairy farm. Now, everybody else would say, that's not really, it's really not a privilege to start working at the age of 5. I remember very vividly, we had to make it to the Christmas Eve service that night, and my dad said, you're gonna start working today, I need you to feed the calves. So I carried they're probably a quarter full at that time because granted I'm 5, 2 5-gallon pails of calf feed out and fed all the calves. And really from that moment on, I started working and I started building my craft. On the farm, it was just natural. You did it because you had to. And lots of people don't realize that what you're doing is impacting others. I did that so we got to Christmas Eve a little bit quicker. For others, when we look at the sports and building a team, as character, we do things so that others on our team don't have to take on that role. Everybody's got a part. I developed character through hard work, but it grew to more when I came to the YMCA here in Rhinelander in 2017. If you guys know anything about the Y is built around character. It's been around since pre-World War II times, started over in England, but character has been at the core of the YMCA. I got the opportunity to be part of a character development group that we led at the YMCA of the Northwoods here in Rhinelander. And we went to Kansas City in order to learn more about character, and not just about teaching kids character, but how our character really impacts others. It's bigger than just us. So I encourage you, when you're thinking about character and what you do, it matters to others, whether that's your kids, whether that's people in your community, people you work with. What you do matters, and more importantly, how you do it matters. Now, fast forward a couple of years, 2020, everybody knows is a rough time. 2021, everything was negative. Everywhere you went, it was, okay, there's this many people have COVID. It was the politics, it was all of this stuff, and you go to the news and it's just negative. And I decided, I'm done with it. So I decided, well, how do we change that? When you look at Facebook, social media, Twitter, all of that, it's all built on algorithms. And in this scientific world, things that are alike draw together. So when you start looking at all these negative stories on Facebook, Facebook has this funny way of building things on each other. So you look at a negative story, I don't know how they do it, but all of a sudden the next thing you know is there's something like that story that pops up 5 things down on your news feed. Mark Zuckerberg is probably listening to this right now and going to be posting something on character in all your pages, so congratulations. But when you start putting yourself in positive situations and focusing on the positives, it makes a difference in your lives. And now all of a sudden, I'm getting all these positive stories. But outside of Facebook, when you focus on the positives and you seek out people that are positive, it affects your life in a positive way. Character has a way of coming, and when you often see men of character, women of character, they all clump together. They all know each other. They all develop together because those individuals, though Mark Zuckerberg isn't running their world, they learn together, and people like-minded tend to meet together. So I just want to touch briefly on what actually is character, what makes up character. And I talked about the YMCA. These are the core values of the YMCA. Honesty, respect, caring, responsibility. The Y teaches those and looks for individuals that holds those characteristics invaluable. There are many other different characteristics that build up character. You look at integrity and selflessness. All of these factors can build up to who you are. But again, I want to pause a minute and just ask you, do you find these values in your life? Because at the end of the day, it's not about me, it's about you guys. How are you going to grow to better the world, to better those around you? Because it's not about you. It's not about how much money you make, how successful you are. It's about how we better the community. And the origin story of everything is just building a better world. So can you develop character? I absolutely believe you can. You know, there's the whole question is, are leaders born or are they built? And the nature and nurture. The way you develop character is you seek out those challenges and the opportunities. You know, I can play my golf game, and you know, I golf in 2 tournaments a year. If I really wanted to be a great golfer, you got to put in the time and put in the effort. So for me, that's not my emphasis. Character is my emphasis. So seek out those challenges and opportunities. Put yourself in positions where you can learn and develop. As cheesy as it is, if you guys have seen Frozen, this next one, do the next right thing. That's the second Frozen movie, I believe. But I've got a 5-year-old, and she always will say, "Okay, Peyton, go clean your room." And Dad, I can't do it. There's so many things. And when we get this so many times in our lives, you know, I mean, this is a 5-year-old, but think about in your own life. Man, I've got so much to do today. How am I ever going to get it done? Don't worry about everything. Worry about the next right thing. Make the next right move. And the rest will come. We'll be able to stack success. Once you do the right thing right now, the next one's easy. It builds on each other. And finally, this is one that I tell my kids when I'm teaching them all the time. My own kids, those I've taught in classes, our leaders, don't be afraid to fail. Failure is something that it cripples us. When we get in that mind, oh no, what's going to happen if this happens? You know, what happens if this doesn't work out? I have the same problem. I have to tell myself, don't always look at the bad side. We got to look at, well, you know, how do we achieve this? So when we look at this, Helen Keller, obviously, everybody probably knows her story, but you know, when we're looking at challenges, my goodness, did anybody have more challenges than Helen Keller? But a character cannot be developed in the ease and the quiet. It is only through experience and trial and suffering that a soul can be strengthened, ambition inspired, and success achieved. We have to seek out those opportunities. Probably everybody knows who this person is. I don't think there's any super young kids in here. So everybody probably knows Michael. He is the GOAT. Don't let everybody convince you, LeBron. We're not going down that road today. But I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. Lost 300 games. 26 times I've been entrusted with a game-winning shot and missed. I failed over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed. We cannot fear the failure. Because if we do, we'll never make the winning shot. This is a quote that I came up with, and really, it's how I try to live my life. Little things finish things. It's so basic. But lots of times we think about, okay, well, what's the big grand idea to success in life? And really, it's a lot of small things that are built together. You know, it's nothing. When you look at the great athletes or the great leaders or the great money makers in the world, what makes them different? Most of them don't have any more fantastic ideas or tributes than the person right next to them. But it's they do all the little things right every time. They build on the little things, and the little things that are often forgotten. Baby steps. Small steps ensure success. Again, it's not about something big and fantastic. When we talk about character, it is a lot of little things that make one person have great character, one person have good character, and one person maybe is lacking, But it's not anything fantastic. That's why I truly believe character can be developed. Character can be taught. What are your little steps? So I want you guys to kind of take this away today and really think about yourself and how can you develop yourself as an individual to be better. Do things as small as hold the door for somebody. I mean, how often you're running up and you're in such a hurry, you never even glance back behind you and say, hey, is there somebody coming that I can just hold this door open? Do one more rep. Whether that's, you're in the gym, working out, whether that's, one more time through a presentation that you're doing, just one more often makes a big difference. Listen. Now, I don't mean just, be there when somebody, is in a time of need, but taking the time when if you're a leader, if you're, just to listen to your staff. What is their problem? What is their concern? Listen to your wife. Listen to your kids. I am very susceptible to this as well. We get in such a rut. I've got to go. I've got to be here this certain time in order to make everything work for the day. Do you really take time to listen to your kids and what's going on in their life? And not how was your day? What did you guys do at school today? But to hear what's going on in their life. Listening to others is so small and such a task that is often overlooked. Get up early. Or, in my mind, I stay up late. I'm more of a night owl. But when you put in that extra time to making yourself better, it makes a difference. Spend time with your family. It is a little thing. But when you invest, there's nothing more valuable than your time. When you invest that in the right way, it truly makes a difference. Good character is not formed in a week or a month. It is created little by little, day by day. Protracted and patient effort is needed to develop good character. Don't worry about being the best right now. Worry about being one little step better than you were when you came in here today or when you go to bed at night. It's about the little things. Be more concerned with your character than your reputation, because your character is what you really are, while your reputation is merely what others think you are. Now, I want to close today with a little story about how you don't even know who you are impacting. I was over at Walmart, I believe last weekend or the weekend before, and I was just going around the store shopping, and all of a sudden I'm going down, I believe it's the pizza aisle or something, and out of nowhere, this little girl just sprints up to me and gives me a big hug. And I'm just like, I mean, obviously I knew who she was, but I'm like, I haven't seen you in 9 months. So as those of you probably know, I've left the YMCA. I now work down at Forest County Potawatomi. And this little girl that was just part of a basketball class that I ran, not an all-star athlete. Half the time she didn't even want to play basketball. She sat on the side. But that impact that I made in her life just melted my heart, because I didn't even know what was happening. It is bigger than you. The little things that you do in your life impact others and really can make a difference. So I encourage you to try to make that difference in others and to develop your character so others around you can feel that passion and that energy that you have and can give to others. Thank you guys for listening, and I hope you guys have a great day.